Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. So, Jay, we are a little bit late to this, but I did want to talk about it, and I guess I'm taking a different angle on it, or we're taking a different angle on it. But it is Claressa Shields and her continued call out of Keith Thurman. Now, we saw her recently on $1 Million Worth of Game, and she was specifically talking about Keith Thurman yet again. And she mentioned that Keith Thurman is not a good boxer, that he has power, but that's all he has, and that she's the better boxer and that she can outbox Keith Thurman. Now, for me, Jay, let me preface my comments by saying this. I got a lot of love and respect for Claressa Shields. I think she is absolutely highly skilled. I think when she talked about Layla Ali and her getting in the ring with Layla Ali, I thought, yeah, she had a excellent chance to beat Layla Ali. I think she's great. But I think she's great for a woman boxer, Jay. And I think if she gets into the ring with Keith Thurman, she would get absolutely obliterated. But I'm gonna tell you something. At this point, I gotta be honest, man. I'm tired of hearing it. I'm tired of hearing that from her. And I'm of the mindset now, put her in the ring with a man. Ain't even gotta be Keith Thurman. Just let her. So if she believes that she is so good that she can beat a former world champion at 147, a male former world champion, unified world champion at 147, then just give her the opportunity to face a man. Not in a sparring bout, in a real fight where the guys are actually trying to take your head off. Because I believe personally that sparring has created a sense of grandeur or a sense of delusion in the mind of Claressa Shields, making her believe that because she's hanging with men and sparring, that's the same as fighting. We've seen other men that have hung with men in sparring that get sparked in real fights. You feel what I'm saying? So her sparring with Errol Spence means nothing. Her sparring with Gervonta Davis or whoever she sparred with means absolutely nothing, because sparring is practice. That's all it is, practice. So take her, put her in the ring with a man at 147 and allow her to see what it's actually like for a guy to actually be trying to beat you. Not just work with you, not help you to hone your skills, but actually try to beat you. She talked about Keith Thurman and mentioned that Keith Thurman is actually smaller than her. Dude, Keith Thurman at 147, Jay, what would you say his body percentage fat looks like? Less than 10%. I mean, he used to be a personal trainer. So let's say he's at 147 in the ring, and he's
typically a lot real lean.
147. Let's say he's 10% body fat. So that means he's 132 pounds of lean muscle mass. She comes in the ring. What she fights at? Super middle or middle?
I want to say super middle, like 168, 168.
Let's say 160. And let's say she's roughly, she looks like she's at least 20%.
She said she's 20.
20%.
That's what she said in our most recent post, yeah.
So that means she's 128 pounds of lean muscle mass at 160 versus 132. Now, also keep in mind, Jay, that the muscle mass is made up of different types of muscle, right? You got slow twitch fibers and you got fast twitch fibers. Men typically are made up of more fast twitch fibers, which means we are much more explosive. So not only is he made up of more lean muscle mass, he's made up of more fast twitch muscle fiber. He would absolutely destroy her. And it wouldn't take long either. If he went in there saying, I want to go ahead and get this ring, he would absolutely destroy her. My thing is, go ahead and let her do it. And then we stop it. And then we can stop this, because we got to stop with the disrespect. Man, it's okay that you are. I think she feels disrespected because she's accomplished so much in the sport and she doesn't get the same level of regard as somebody like a Terrence Crawford. But at the end of the day, there's a reason why you're able to accomplish what you're able to accomplish in the women's league, because it's not as a competitive league. So, Jay, those are my thoughts on it. What are your thoughts, man? I say put her in the ring with a man. Let her see what it's like.
Yeah. I find it funny because I'm like, you're saying Keith has power, but Keith hasn't had a knockout since 2015. Once he really started stepping up his competition. The knockouts kind of dwindled. His last knockout was on July 11, 2015 against Collazo. 7th round where he stopped him. He retired him in the corner. After that, he's fought Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, Cesar Lopez, Manny Pacquiao, Barrios. And I haven't seen him really drop anyone except for Lopez. And that was January 2019. That was the last time he dropped somebody. So to say Keith isn't a boxer is a straight up lie. I've always thought Keith was more of a boxer than a puncher. You know, he's a boxer with punching power. You see the way he fights around, the way he's fought. He moves around the ring. He's calculated. He has a high boxing IQ. Also, she said she's bigger than Keith. Keith comes in. They say Keith is at 5'9". She's at 5'8". She's not taller than him. And let me just take a look at the little reach as well, since she says she has every advantage over Keith. You know, it doesn't make sense to me why she's just coming off and coming down on Keith. So their reach, they say he's at 69, she's at 68. So it's only an inch, but that's all it takes in boxing. That's all it takes.
I think she
hit you in that.
She's talking about weight, and she doesn't realize that most of her weight advantage is body fat.
Yeah, but not only that, she doesn't have power.
None. He's gonna walk right through it.
Doesn't have power. Again, she doesn't have Ann Wolf type. Ann Wolf was a freakish power for women's in general. I mean, I remember she has one of the most devastating knockouts I've seen ever watched. When she knocked out the tall fight. I forgot the fighter name.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
But she has no power. She has 2 knockouts. She has 2 knockouts in 14 fights. And she's talking about, he's going to get it. Really? Really? You think you have enough power to keep him up off of you? You know, I don't like the fact that old boy that was sparring her, whoever posted that video, her getting dropped. You got dropped in sparring. Yeah, you got up. You also had headgear on. You also had a guy that really wasn't trying to really just pound you and beat you like that in a real fight. You think you get in that ring with Keith Thurman, he's not going to box your head off and take you out. You got another thing coming. You talking about, I saw what she was trying to do. She was trying to say because he's been inactive, he's been injured and all that stuff, that he's older. Still, though, you don't have the power to handle him. You just don't. It's levels to it. You're a hell of a boxer, a hell of a female boxer. You're probably one of the best female fighters of all time. You know, but you have other fighters in your league around your weight class that you say you fight Keith Thurman at, that you could fight. That'd be a big fight for you. You know, so keep it on that and stop disrespecting Keith, because Keith took the high road. He never disrespected you no matter what you said. You know, he never took shots at you, anything like that. I understand you want to be confident so you can beat anyone, all that stuff there. But you going at Keith for no reason is just crazy to me. It's crazy talk. She's been unhinged and everything. You know, now she's doing MMA. And I support her. I mean, I want her to win and everything, but the reality of it, she's not going to beat Keith Thurman if they were to happen. Also, Keith has nothing to gain if they were to do anything. It's one thing if they're doing a little punch machine, who can punch hard in a little punch machine, because that's nothing. You know, no one's getting hurt on that. But he gets in the ring with her, it's nothing positive for him. It's all bad for him. So I would deny that and decline that at all costs, no matter what. And she just needs to chill and just really focus on what she has coming up, because she has a fight in MMA, and it's been rumored that the fight was supposed to be at like 155. She couldn't even make that, so they're moving up to 160 something. So I'm like, you got other stuff you need to worry about, Claressa. You need to worry about that.
Go rematch Savannah Marshall, and you know, go look at the Sean Porter versus Paulie Malignaggi fight, and that's an inclination of what that fight could look like when you got a fighter that doesn't have the power to keep the other fighter off of them. And Sean is not known for punching power either, but because Paulie had no arsenal, no firepower to keep Sean, an aggressive fighter, off of him, just rocked him out of there. There's no way that lower class boxers would beat Claressa Shields. We've seen it in all other sports. NBA, we've seen it in tennis. We've seen it in all kind of sports. The top woman they don't even come close to like low level, low tier men. And she is no different. You guys tell us what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast, AM Sports Media, and we are out.